that was able to take millions of numbers, because apparently they just targeted Target. For some reason, it was just Target. I'm not sure if it was worldwide or nationwide, but they took over millions of people's accounts, and they took it overseas, and supposedly you're able to, you know, get a working number, credit card number, for $20 a pop. So I received a letter from my bank saying that, you know, they confirmed that my card was breached, so that they're going to cancel my card, and then they're going to send me a new one. But in the meantime, you know, just if I were you, I would just check every day. I check every day, 4 or 5 times a day, just to see if anything is happening.
Right.
With the bank and with the credit card account?
Yes, with the bank and the credit card.
Now, and I have questions here. Was it just a Target credit card or any credit card?
Well, it was the Target, the red card, the little red card that they have. That one also was compromised, but also your regular credit card. Yeah, so just keep
your credit cards?
just the one that you use on that particular night.
For Target.
Right, when you went to Target. Yeah.
Well,
So that's my experience. Yeah, so that's what's happening.
So that is a thank you, Anna, for sharing that. Okay, thank you. Yeah,
That's good about it.
right. Who knew about this Target thing
I
before
knew
she?
about it, but I thought well, I have a Target. I had just got a Target credit card like about in September, I think it was. So, but I didn't have any. I hadn't had any transaction. I know it was like around Thanksgiving time that they had done this.
Right.
And I hadn't had any transaction. I hadn't done any transaction.
Right, right.
At that time, so I figured.
Well, I just have a debit and a credit card, right? And this has even made me wiser. Okay, we have more people here. Okay, hello Audrey, have a seat, hon. Yeah, it's just made me wiser that, and I hate doing that, but I'm out a lot. I'm with a lot of people. I have a lot of friends, right? I'm in restaurants, I'm in stores, I'm all over the place, right? And I think what I'm going to do is discipline myself, and I'm going to take out enough cash that I need for that weekend or that week. And I'm just going to use my cash. Because there's too many crooks. Yeah, but there is.
I was going to say bums.
There's a lot of words for them. So let's get into like all these updated ones. Now I know someone in the Sheriff's Department. She was in, do you remember that? The Sheriff's Department. And these are updated New Jersey, in fact, scams, okay? So the first one, elderly New Jersey man victim of lottery scam, all right? A film flam artist, a 75-year-old Perth Amboy, New Jersey man out of $6,000 on Monday afternoon. Claiming to hold a winning lottery ticket, 2 men approached him at about 1:30 Monday near the intersection of Smith and according to police. The men asked the victim, you know, please help me, claiming they could not cash in the $6,000 ticket because they are illegal immigrants. The victim then walked to a nearby bank, withdrew $6,000, and accepted a ride home from the 2 men and a female accomplice who was in their car. Along the way, the victim handed over the cash as collateral for a portion of the lottery winning. Police said, right? The thieves had promised to give the victim $5,000 in exchange for his help. Yeah, sure. Instead, the victim was handed a sock. Oh boy, this is terrible. Instead, the victim was handed a sock filled with pieces of cut up paper.
Oh my God.
according to the police, right? The victim did not examine the sock until after the trio dropped him off at his house and then drove away. Well, one good thing, they didn't kill him, right?
Yeah.
They admitted they were illegal aliens and he helped them?
Well, like in the beginning, what I said, they said that they were illegal.
So why would you help somebody like that?
Well, that's why people are victim of frauds. You know, some people are kind, some people are more gullible to other people, and some people are very trustworthy.
I'm not.
Okay? So, the incident was reported Tuesday, and the elderly victim described their vehicle only one way. This man said, and you got to understand this here experience. He was 75 years old, okay? All he said was it was a dark colored car that he was in. The thieves were described by the victim as two Hispanic males, one of whom was in their early 50s and a woman with them 30 years old with blonde hair. Elderly people are especially vulnerable to con artists. They do this with their whole life. This is their whole life, may I repeat. They're from an age when you used to trust people. It's hard to break the habit trusting people, right? So if approached at home or in a community, you said to be cautious about people coming up with you or strangers who seek or offer help, right? Many con artists will gain access to the homes of elderly people by offering to make repairs by asking to leave a message for a neighbor. Once there, they can distract the resident while an accomplice enters and steals their belongings. I've heard that one too.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Okay? So here's one. I thought that was interesting. Thieves sometimes arrive at a home of an elderly person to show them a homemade blanket or quilt. Now, they must be good at this. I hate to use the word good. They intend to leave for a neighbor and then use the item to block the victim's field of vision while they remove his or her belongings from the home. They put up the blanket. Most scam artists can pass themselves off as courteous, well-dressed, well-intentioned people, and they could talk the talk. They could talk about their family, how good they are, how they have legacy, da-da-da-da-da-da. Elderly residents should call the police before letting uninvited visitors enter their homes. Now, I stay with a family, okay? All right. One night, I guess it was about close to 9:30, all right? They came knocking at the door, all right? And I said, who's that? To the teenager. I said, who's that? And she goes, oh, go back to sleep, you know, like in my room upstairs, you know? So I go down, and here there was a girl standing downstairs. I would say maybe 13 years old she was. They let her in the house. This is what she told them. It was cold outside, very cold. She said that she missed a train, which was, you know, blocks away from the house, right? The River Line train. And she said, my mother will kill me if she finds out that I'm here, right? So she's sitting in the chair, and I'm in a big Victorian house, right? So I come downstairs, and I see her, then I react. I say, why in the world did you let that go? Oh, just keep out of it. I said, why would you let somebody in the house like that? Okay, and believe her. I said, she could have somebody on the side, you know, men or whoever. She could say they're my brothers or it's my boyfriend or whatever, and get in that house and kill and rape us and kill everybody who lives there and steal, right? So they told her just sit there until quote unquote they figure it out. Okay? Well, I figured it out. I picked up the phone. I said, you should call the police because this girl is here and she lives in Trenton. Okay? And she wants a ride to Trenton or to call her mother. Okay? Isn't that crazy? Right?
Yeah.
So I said, call our police department. And then she said, oh, she goes, but, you know, she goes, the girl, because see, I could hear, there's a landing that I could hear what was going on. You know, like they're in the living room down there. So it's a big house, so I could hear her. Oh, she goes, but it's late and I think I missed the train. She goes, I missed the train, you know, and my mother will kill me. So what did that girl want? That girl wanted one of us to get in the car and take her to Trenton. Well, it never happened. Because finally, I convinced them to call the police department. All right? And then they came in and talked to them and, you know, and they took care of the whole thing. All right? So see, fortunately, I'm still living because of, you know? All right?
What was the result of her and the police?
I really forget because I know when the police got in there, I went upstairs and I went to bed.
So it's possible that she could have missed the train, maybe. Because that's what she wanted, was just a ride.
Yeah, but why did she walk?
Well, she wanted a ride and she also wanted not for us to call her mother, and then she changed her mind to call her mother. But her mother said that she said the mother would beat her if she found. I discerned that this girl came to that area for a boyfriend or something. Maybe she was over a guy's house and met somebody on the train. You know, that's the way I look at it. But after a while, I walked out of it. Why I'm sharing this with the class is what is the moral of this story? Who knows?
Mind your own business.
Huh?
Mind your own business.
What's
Don't
the-
let anybody in your
I
house.
think you
That's
should call,
it.
when someone comes like that, call the police.
Yeah.
Just to say that, you know, if you want to stay outside, the police will be here to help you. You know, she'll either take off or the police will help her.
Yeah, because see, this is how I looked at it. That it was dark on the street, it was cold, and there could be a couple people in the car. You see this all the time, you read this. Criminal shows have things like this.
Sandra, they had a show on Dr. Phil yesterday about your brother and sister and their friend. Somebody had these men had broke into their apartment. They was all sharing a house or whatever. They
Right.
broke into their house, and they had the girl. She had heard shots, and she wondered what's going on. And when she thought about that, somebody come into her room and ushered her out. These men had masks that they had put on their face, and they ushered them into the living room, and they had shot the first boy they shot was her boyfriend. He was laying on the floor, and they had got her brother and had him laying on the floor and told her they looking So
Mhm.
they had, shot her and her brother, but her and her brother, lived, they shot him twice in the head. And they lived to tell the story, but the boyfriend, he had died.
Yeah,
This was the second time because they had broken the house before.
right.
And they were, the boy, whoever, the cops had caught him with some of their materials.
Mhm.
And they were supposed to be going to trial, and just like 2 days before the trial, somebody break into their house the second time, and try to execution,
Execution style,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, so there's another example, and you could read the newspaper, you could look at any news channel to see what's going on out there. Now, this is one, all right, that I thought was, there's a whole bunch of them that I told you that Kim sent me. Okay. All right, now, say you're going away for a few days, or you're going away for the day, right? Be careful who you tell. You could tell, maybe someone who's working, but you're going to say if you live alone, right? Be careful telling your relatives or anything. I'm going to Cherry Hill Mall today, right? All right, so she goes in the house, and she says to someone in the house, "Oh, yeah, how's Leslie doing? Oh, good. How's she feeling? She's feeling good. Yeah, she's going to Cherry Hill Mall today with some of her friends. Access Link is picking her up," or whatever, a scenario. Be careful of that, all right? All right, this is another scam with obituaries.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, obituaries. They're very good at this, where you read the obituary online or the newspaper, and it tells you where to send donations or consolence or letters, or sometimes they even give you an email or an address, right? Sometimes people know that, you're going away on a big vacation. Be careful. Walk your way through it, okay? Because sometimes someone watches the house. They take your mail. They take your newspaper. All that, right? So be very, very, very careful. Because they know that you're at the funeral. So this gives them the chance to break in the house, because they know you're going to be there a long time. All right? So usually what my friends do, because I know a lot of people, they usually delegate or have someone, or someone volunteers and said, "I'll stay at the house." Okay, because of maybe food coming in, unless they're coming back to the house, or people contacting. Okay? So, all right. So any deal that sounds too good to be true is not, right?
Yes, Sandra, I have one for you.
What?
I've been getting phone calls occasionally
Mm-hmm.
for medical alert systems
Oh, yeah, it's on here.
about being prepaid, to start getting paid for. All you have to do is,
Right,
and it's a pre-recorded voice.
right.
They say, press 1 to talk to a person, press 5 to decline. You know what I do? Hit that 5 and decline it.
Right.
Because they'll come from Illinois or New Mexico or Oregon. You don't know who these people are. Or the FBI wants you get a phone call saying they're from the FBI.
Mm-hmm.
And for a security system, no.
Yeah, right. And you know what? The point of the thing is back again, may I repeat, some people are good at it. I mean, this is their life. This is what they do, right? Latest